Go ahead.
So I'm curious, right? So you have people who mostly partner with marketing on marketing ops. You have people who mostly partner with sales in sales ops, and now like CS ops becoming a more popular. Do you see these roles report into the functional leaders? Marketing ops reporting to marketing instead of reporting into a marketing ops function, which is more of like a centralized structure, and the pros and cons around it.
Yeah, that's a great question, Holly. I think it depends on a number of factors. First of all, is the maturity or the stage of the company. At early stage, probably we don't have enough resource to dedicate to support each function, so they probably remain centralized. And as company grow bigger, these RevOps roles probably will specialize in to cover the need for marketing, sales, and customer success separately. Besides that, I think the type of product also will make a difference. I can't think of an example on top of my head, but I do see some companies who run a lot of, it depends on the type of a product. We may place different emphasis on either marketing or customer success. So they will have a different weight. They will have a different power of saying. I've seen mature companies where customer success drive a large portion of their sales. So in that case, the emphasis will be on customer success, and there definitely will be a dedicated revenue operation team supporting customer success.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like if I look into Calendly, actually they have a chief revenue officer, and they have like a pretty large revenue ops team under that CRO that look into all the functions. So I see more and more companies adopting this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I echo on that. Is also the what I can remember when I was working in the Grammarly B2B function is the head of under the CRO, the head of revenue ops is definitely running the show. Because at the time, a lot of the sales process, right, the segmentation, the routing between the self-serve, mid-market, and the enterprise are very much of a to be defined process. So in that case, I'm actually doing the analytics function, as you said. I work with revenue ops, where revenue ops would have some initial top-down idea, whereas my team was helping validate, right, how to identify those information in the Salesforce and or in other databases, and we together put the playbook together for the sales team to execute and to validate. And later on, at some point, the part of the team on my team did actually spin off and merge into the revenue ops because they require a little bit more dedication, right? It became a specific sales analytics at the time, right? Sounds like I think you mentioned on that a little bit as well.
Yeah. That's a great example, Bei. I think one part of the revenue operations job is collaboration. We have many internal stakeholders. We sometimes need to support their activity. Sometimes we need to cover part of the daily tasks for them. And the key is to build a relationship with those internal partners. When we try to implement some internal processes, we also socialize the idea with the go-to-market teams and finance teams and so on. And we want to get their buy-in before implementing. So collaboration and the partnership is really a big part of a revenue operations job.
I see. Yeah, that's became to bring up some of the memory of the collaboration, because I do recall other than the collaboration between the planning and the analytics front, the other thing I was a part of also in the Grammarly B2B was the lead gen, right? I was working closer in the marketing team, and we were doing the lead gen, whereas with the revenue ops, we're definitely reviewing the every week on Monday morning to say, hey, do you have enough of a lead up funnel leads, right, to fill all the pipelines, so that there is we hear feedback from the revenue ops on the conversion, right, on the down funnel, to understand should we work harder, on the marketing side, or are we good for next couple of weeks. So the other thing I also remember you said about the collaboration with the product marketing and the revenue ops, because at the time we were still double clicking on the actual value proposition, right? What exactly, because Grammarly was still going through the B2C and the B2B transition, a lot of value were shifting at the time, because the enterprise and the 2B care things very differently. So I do recall at the time the product marketing was also teaming up very closely with the revenue ops to conduct a lot of user insights, right? To understand the different preferences, what they care, what they not care, and when the product marketing team finalized the messaging and the playbook, that's when the revenue ops kind of took it over, right, to distribute and to lead conversations, and also making sure to work with the customer success team, making sure everyone share the same tone and the same messaging across the board, right? Does that sound consistent?
Totally. Yeah. So I think you're on the spot, Bei. I think one of the additional responsibility that revenue operation can take, especially in a startup environment, is to drive the organization learning and to disseminate the learning throughout the organization. By aggregating the insights, by sharing the learnings with different teams, it can drive the evolution of the learning about the market, about the customer. I also have an example to share that is out of my experience at a touring video. So at the early stage of the company, we wanted to find the target customer for its robot product. This robot can patrol the facility and detect abnormal activities. And the company believed this robot can be sold to security guard companies. The thinking behind it is, well, if they replace this human guard with this robot, they could potentially save a lot of cost, right? So the initial engagement with the security guard companies seems interesting. A lot of them showed interest. However, the conversion rate remains very low and the sales cycle has been very long. So the company was facing the decision whether to pivot to other segments or to continue engaging with this segment. But we don't have enough evidence or data to support a decision either way. So what I did is I stepped in and tried to lay out all the basic assumptions behind this conclusion that the security guard companies are a good target segment for this product, and try to validate them during my engagement with the customers when I joined the founder. Eventually, we found the assumption that the guard companies care about the cost was wrong, because they have a pricing power. They could pass this cost downstream to their customers. So this discovery helped the company make the decision to pivot to other segments. Although this example seems like a simple validation, right? But if we haven't picked it out and really make a deliberate effort to validate it, we would have wasted a lot of time on an unfit customer segment. So by sharing this example, I wanted to echo what you said. Revenue operation can take over the responsibility of disseminate the learning throughout the organization.